Hey guys, Sayako here with another theory video, and I'm going to be doing a dual theory video for this one. I hate when I do this. Again, I had this planned out in my head and I was just going to jump in and do it, and no, my brain's decided to say, nope, we're going to have you forget. So, no, I know what I'm going to do. I know what I'm going to do. First off, I would like to do a shout out to Ice Cream Coon. Ice Cream Coon requested me to do a theory for Spampton and or Gaster, and then my theory on who I think the knight from Deltarune is. I am going to be doing Spampton and the knight in two separate videos later on. This dual theory video is going to focus on Gaster. And I said it's a dual theory because I'm going to do two theories in this video, but I'm not going to yet tell you who the second theory is going to be about. Not yet anyway, not yet. I want to focus on Gaster first. So Ice Cream Coon, thanks for the request. You are awesome. Before I get into the video though, I wanted to kind of apologize. When I put up my last theory video, the ending of my Frisk/Chris theory video, I'm doing this one now because I had to take a little bit of a break. That one kind of triggered me a little bit. It dredged up some things that I had repressed from my childhood. It wasn't pretty. It was not pretty. So I've taken a few days. I'm fine. I'm fine. Don't worry about me, please. I'm fine. I promise. Don't worry. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm not the greatest, but I'm better than what I was. So like I said, I did take a little bit of a break after that one. I needed it to kind of give my brain time to recharge and kind of let my things settle, you know. But like I said, I'm okay now. And we are going into this. Like I said, it is a dual theory video, and I'm not going to tell you who the other theory is going to be on yet. You guys are just going to have to stick around after the Gaster theory to see. So let's go. So Gaster, as a lot of you guys know from playing Undertale, if you've ever played the PC version, which I never have, I've got the console version, but if you guys have ever played the PC version, you can mess with the files to get the gray door to appear, and then you can go in, you can see Gaster that way. Or if you play the console version and your fun value hits like a certain number, I don't know what number it is, then some of Gaster's followers will pop up. Now I have seen Goner Kid, which is the the grayed out version that looks like MK, and then I've seen one of Gaster's followers by the R2 elevator. Yeah, I think it's by the R2 elevator when you're on your way going to the core. And then the river person, he gives you two clues to Gaster. One, he says, beware of the man who speaks in hands. And then the second one is, beware of the man who came from the other world. Now, the other world, if a lot of you, for those who kind of know or are familiar with Gaster's lore, the other world is the void. But I'm not going to really focus on a lot of the lore as far as the game goes. I want to focus more kind of on Gaster's origins. Like my own little theory as to Gaster's origins, how he got to where he was. And I also want to kind of focus on Sans and Papyrus's house in Snowdon, because I think that house has something to do with it. But I'll get back to that later. I want to try at least do 30 minutes per theory. I mean, since this is a dual one, but for like the singular theories, they might be longer than 30 minutes. It all depends, but we'll see. So, moving on. So, like I said, as probably a lot of you know, Gaster is not an Gaster is an NPC in Undertale, a non-playable character. But, like I said, I'm not focusing on the game lore. At least I'm going to try not to. I want to focus on how Gaster ended up where he did, like his origins, where he came from, how he created the core, the way he created the core, and then how he ended up falling into the core. That's what I want to focus on in this video. And then, like I said, this is the duel. So as soon as that theory is done, I'm going to move on to a surprise theory that I'm not going to say what it is just yet. You guys are just going to have to stick around and listen. So, Gaster. Gaster is a badass. Gaster is the only one who has chroma magic. And for those who don't know what chroma magic is basically the ability to control all 7 trait colors as powers. Like Sans, for example, he can control yellow and cyan blue, which is and dark blue. He can control cyan blue, which is the light blue color. He can control the dark blue, like his brother Papyrus, and then he can control yellow. So he can control 3 of the chroma colors. Papyrus can only control, I think, orange. I think it's orange. Yeah, I think Papyrus can only control orange, I think Papyrus is orange. But, little fun fact for those of you who don't know, the 7 traits, or the 7 soul colors, they have meanings to them. So, cyan blue, which is the lighter blue, that one is patience. The darker blue is integrity. Bravery, and I always forget the color for this one, I believe is orange. Yellow is justice. Green is kindness. Let's see, so we have cyan blue, dark blue, yellow, orange, green. Okay, so that's 5. Purple is perseverance. That's 6. And then the 7th color, red, as you all know, is determination. So I think that covers it. Let's see. Red, purple, orange, green, light blue, dark blue. Yeah, that covers all 7. So basically you have patience, integrity, justice, bravery, perseverance, kindness, and determination. Which, for those that have played the game, when you go in to fight Asgore, or before you go in to fight Asgore, you go down to the basement and you see the other coffins lined up. They are the same colors that correspond to each of the previous souls that each of the previous 6 kids carry. Now, as I said, Gaster has chroma magic. He has the ability to control all 7 traits. Sans can control 3. Papyrus, well, okay, I take that back. Papyrus can control 1 trait. Papyrus can control 1 trait, which is the dark blue, well, he can control the dark blue, which is integrity, which is gravity magic, which both Papyrus and Sans can do. If you've ever fought Sans, you know gravity magic in that fight is hell to get through. And then Papyrus uses gravity magic when you do his little fight with him in the Pacifist run. And then he can also do the cyan blue, which is the one you don't, if you stand still, it won't hurt you. Let's see. But yeah, back to Gaster. Gaster is kind of an enigma. There's not really a whole lot that is really known about Gaster. As much as I played Undertale, even I don't know a whole lot about Gaster. But like I said, we're not going off Undertale rules here. We're going off of Gaster's origins. I have read a little bit. Not a whole lot, but I've read a little bit. And Gaster's family is noble. Gaster comes from a noble family. Like, his bloodline is that of nobility. And I don't believe Gaster had any siblings. I do believe Gaster was an only child. I don't know anything about his parents. It's all left up to interpretation, like Mim said in my second theory video. It's all left to interpretation. There's no, and I mean, as I pointed out on Discord, there's no right, there's no wrong answer. So, while I think, like I said, this is a theory video, so this is what I'm going with. This is what my theory on Gaster is, so this is what we're going to go with. I don't think his mother had the chroma ability. I do think his dad might have had the chroma ability, though, which he passed it to Gaster, or they had enough of the traits combined to where it created the chroma magic ability and they passed it to Gaster. But either way, Gaster has chroma magic. So, Gaster, I think, grew up as an only child, the son of a noble. And honestly, I think he was a bit of a spoiled brat. But Gaster, I also think, was very highly intelligent, which I think is where Sans gets it, because Sans is very, very, very smart. Sans is very, very intelligent. Papyrus is not a fighter. Papyrus, I think, if Papyrus had a soul trait, had a human-based soul trait, his would be bravery. Because Papyrus is not a fighter. He will not fight. He won't run, but he won't fight either. If Sans had a color trait soul, I think his would be a dual soul. His would be justice, but his would also be determination. Justice because he's the judge. Determination because not only is he the last one literally standing to go up against and battle Chara, but just for the fact that it's a hard fight. I mean, it is either him or you. I mean, it is a long, hard fight. And as I said in my second video, I died over 400 times. I'm not kidding. At one time I had it wrote down, over a 3-day period, I fought for 3 days. I died over 400 times to Sans. I'm not playing. If you guys want me to, I will read. And Mim has this idea too. I'm not copying. I swear to you, I'm not. I'm not. But I will replay the Genocide Songs fight, and I will have a notebook sitting next to me, and I will record how many times that I die to him in, say, a 3-hour period. From the first death to the last in a 3-hour period. But dying over 400 times in a 3-day period, that was insane. That was literally insane. That was nuts. But, back to Gaster. Like I said, from what little bit that I've read, Gaster came from a noble family. He was an only child. I don't think he had siblings. I do think he was the only one with chroma magic. I think his parents carried enough of the traits jointly that they passed them to Gaster, and they evolved into the chroma ability. And that's kind of where Sans and Papyrus get their abilities. Like I said, Sans can control 3 of the colors. He can control the cyan blue, the dark blue, and then yellow. Papyrus can control the dark blue, the cyan blue, and then I think if he had to fight, it would be orange. His would be, yeah, I think, now that I think about it, I think bravery is orange and justice is yellow. But now the holes in his hands, if you've ever actually found the gray door without, like, I'm not talking about the PC version, because like I said, the PC version, you can mess with the files. I mean the console version, which is, it's incredibly weird. Hi, baby. Hi. You want to come say hi to the video? Yeah. Hi, sweetheart. Hi. Hi, baby. Yep. Say hi, Nari. Okay. Yeah, Nari's loving on me. But if you've ever found the gray door in the PC, or not the PC, I just said not the PC version. If you've ever found the gray door in the console version, I haven't. But if you ever have, but I've looked at like 1 or 2, like I've looked at the wiki. I've looked at like 1 or 2 pictures on the wiki. But if you've ever found the gray door and you look at Gaster, he has the holes in his hands. I believe this theory, my own theory, with the holes in Gaster's hands, I don't think he got them creating Sans and Papyrus as what a lot of people think. I think those are injuries from the monster and human war. Now let me explain why I think this is. The holes, I think what happened was one of the monsters were injured, and a human was going after him to kill him, and Gaster got in the way, and to shield himself and the other monster, he put his hands up to block. Well, what ended up happening was, I'm guessing either a sword or a spear was used, one of the two. I'm guessing what happened was when he put his hands up to try to protect himself, either a sword or a spear was jabbed through his hands, creating the initial injuries. Well, after they were sealed underground, Papyrus, or not Papyrus, oh my god, my brain. Sorry guys, my brain is just being stupid tonight. Gaster fixed the holes in his hand somehow. I don't know how he could have done it. And then he somehow managed to stabilize what was left after fixing the holes in his hands that he had already. Well, using that little bit of material, he created Sans and Papyrus. Now, this is, I think this is like before he created the core and all that. I'm yawning. I know. I have a fix for this. It's called pop. But I think somehow using what was left of the material after he somehow managed to fix the holes in his hands, he created Sans and Papyrus. He created his sons. And yes, Gaster's a skeleton, Sans and Papyrus are skeletons. Do the math. Gaster's their dad. I have no doubts about that. Gaster is their dad. Hey, BB. You guys, see, Inari. Say hi, Inari. Say hi, Inari. Inari decided to come say hi. So, yes, you're not gonna... There's no convincing me any other way. Gaster is Sans and Papyrus' dad. The house in Snowdon, and I'm kind of going back to Undertale in this one. When you first get to Snowdon and you talk to the shopkeeper, she says that one day Sans and Papyrus just showed up and asserted themselves. Like, that tells me that they had been there before, and not in not like in an alternate timeline. I think the house that they live in, that is in Snowdon, that was their house when they were younger, before the core accident that caused Gaster to shatter over space and time, and he vanished. I think that was their house when they were young. But I think... I don't know what happened per se. Sorry guys, I guess I'm a little tired tonight. But that's why I'm kind of doing this video early, so I'm not overly tired. I think that was their house when they were little. But after the core accident, they forgot, like everybody did. Everybody forgot who Gaster was. And something happened, and they either went to live with Asgore and Toriel, or something happened. But they went back years and years later, and because they were so familiar with Snowdon, everyone was like, oh, well, 2 skeletons. Okay, well, empty house. Here you go. And they didn't really question it. Like, nobody questioned it. But yeah, I think that was Sans and Papyrus in Gaster's house when Sans and Papyrus were little, and Gaster was still the royal scientist. Now, for those of you who know the lore, Gaster was in charge of, beforehand, I think it was Gaster who started the DT experiments, or the determination experiments. And I told myself I wasn't going to go back to Undertale, but here we go. Here we go. We're going right back to Undertale. And I said I wasn't going to do this, but here we go. In the True Lab, when, like, right before you go, like, the little weird-looking save point on the floor, that's not a save point, it's actually... Which one is it? Is it Lemon Bread? I think it's Lemon Bread. I think it is. I think it's Lemon Bread. Yeah, it's Lemon Bread, because Memory Heads are first, and then Lemon Bread, and then Endogeny, which is my personal favorite. Endogeny is so cute. Amalgamate or not, he's adorable. And then Reaper Bird is the last one. So yeah, it is Lemon Bread. But before you go near Lemon Bread, that thing in the background, that is the DT extractor. That was Gaster's original design. That was Gaster's design, and I'll tell you why. If you look at the DT extractor, if you look at the DT extractor, and then you kind of look at the Gaster blasters, it kind of resembles a Gaster blaster. Like, it kind of resembles, I think, Sansa's blaster. Not the big ones, like not the huge, massive ones, but the littler ones, the littler blasters. But at the same time, it also resembles, what is it? Azriel's Hypergoner. Like that skull that shows up like right before he transforms and you go in to save all your friends. It also kind of resembles Azriel's Hypergoner, the big giant skull thing. So it's kind of, to me, it looks kind of like a weird hybrid between the Hypergoner and a Gaster blaster. Which, now that I think about it, in a way, Azriel's Hypergoner is like a reverse version of the Gaster blaster. I mean, if you really stop and look, I think that's how Gaster got his design for the Gaster blasters, was Azriel's Hypergoner. I really do. Now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, I think that's how Gaster came up with the concept for the blasters. I don't think they could have been created. I mean, I know they can be created through magic, but they had to have came, just like with the core, just like with, well, that's a secret, and I don't know if everyone has found that secret yet, but I'm not going to go into that one. leave a comment, and I'll try to remember to enable the comments on this one. Leave a comment, and I will explain what the secret is. But now that I sit and I think about it, the concept for the blasters had to come from something. And I think that they came from Azriel's Hypergoner. I don't know how, but I think that's how the blasters happened. Is that Gaster, I don't know how he could have seen the Hypergoner attack. Maybe Azriel was showing off and showed it to him at one point, and Gaster kind of etched it out and then just kind of put his own little magic twist on it, and boom, Gaster blaster, there you go. But back to what I was saying. But yes, I think the house in Snowden at one time belonged to Sans and Papyrus and Gaster when Sans and Papyrus were kids. And if you're asking, well, what makes you think that? Think of it like this. There's already 2 bedrooms, okay? I mean, provided Gaster more than likely slept on the couch. They were already set up. I mean, if you go in and you look, I mean, there's already, Sans has his mattress, his dresser. don't really know what the point of the tornado is. But hey, it's Sans' room. It's insane in there. Go figure. And then you have all the stuff in Papyrus's room. Now, naturally, all of that stuff had to have come from the surface, which in turn they could find in the junk, in the junkyard, in the garbage, the dump, not the junkyard, the dump. They found it in the dump. But I do honestly think that was at one time their house when they were little, and Gaster had just become the royal scientist. At that time, I don't think there was any power to the underground. So Gaster sat down and he created, of course, the core. The thing that powers the entirety of the underground, that gives them lights and all that. As far as Gaster's accident, again, I don't know a whole lot of the lore surrounding Gaster, considering Gaster is an NPC. I really wish Gaster had kind of more of a presence in Undertale and Deltarune, but at the same time, I'm kind of glad that you're only fighting Sans at the end of the Genocide run and not Gaster, because can you imagine going up against all 7 color traits at once? 3 is hard enough, but 7? No. I wouldn't try it. I would reset my game, and I would never go near a Genocide run ever again if that were the case. But as far as the accident with Gaster, I think something was going on with the core. Like it was destabilizing, or something was going on with the core. And Gaster was trying to get everybody out, or he was trying to fix it, to restabilize it to where it didn't take the entire underground down. I think something happened. There was an explosion or something. And somehow Gaster ended up falling into the core. Because if any of you that have played Undertale, and you have ever seen the weird looking, bent over, like tree trunk looking follower, it tells you that there was an accident. There was some kind of an accident, and Gaster landed in his own creation, which was the core. And then it says, I shouldn't gossip. After all, it's rude to talk about someone who's listening. Which tells you that just because Gaster has been shattered across time and space, that doesn't mean he isn't there. He's not listening. And as many times as I've tried to find the Grey Door, I cannot. I am still looking for it, though. I don't care how many times I have to play. I will play until I find it, and I'll be happy when I do. But, moving on. But if you've ever... Gaster's followers are extremely rare. Like, you have to hit, like, a certain point value. Like I said, I don't play the PC version. I can't play PC games to save my life. I am a console kid. I was raised on consoles. I was born in the late 80s. I was raised on the Super Nintendo system. I was raised on the original PlayStation, the PlayStation 2. Yeah, I was raised on the early systems. I'm not a PC gamer. I am a console gamer. Always have been, always will be. But yeah, on the console version, you can't mess with files. There is no way to. So to get any of Gaster's followers to appear is incredibly rare. And any of you that have done it, kudos. Awesome. You've managed to do it. And I don't know how I did it, but I managed to get Goner Kid to appear, which is like the grayed out version of MK, and then like I said, the weird, like, I don't know, like the weird tree trunk looking one. I think it hangs out either at the L2 or the R2 elevator. I think it's the L2 elevator. If I miss my guess, I think it is the L2 elevator. But Gaster is an enigma. Like, there's not, like I said, I don't know a whole lot about Gaster. I really, really don't. There's very, very little I know about Gaster. But basically, my theory on Gaster boils down to this. I think he was born into nobility. Either he was born with the chroma traits naturally, or his parents had enough of the traits between the two of them that when Gaster was born, they combined into the chroma magic ability which Gaster carried. I think that after they were imprisoned, shortly after they were imprisoned, Asgore elected Gaster to be the royal scientist, since Gaster was a brilliant scientist. He was a genius. He probably knew more about humans than anybody. And because of that knowledge, I think that's why Asgore appointed him as the royal scientist. Because of Gaster's knowledge. He believed that Gaster could find a way to break the barrier. And it was with Gaster's knowledge that he came up with the soul theory. The DT machine, yeah. I think the reason, well, of course, you know why the reason why the DT extractor was even created was its purpose is to extract DT, determination, out of the human souls of those that fell. Now, after Gaster landed in the core and he was forgotten, Alphys became the royal head scientist. And then she comes in, and according to the game, she followed the blueprints that Gaster had for the DT machine, and she created the DT machine. I don't think she created the entire thing. I think she finished it, but I think Gaster started it. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe Gaster did start it, but he never got the chance to use it, which is why Alphys was the one that coined the term determination instead of Gaster. Or DT for short. And then in the True Lab, it goes back, you guys, I'm not going to rehash it, you guys know how it goes. But I think that kind of covers everything about Gaster. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I'm missing. Let's see. No. I think that's it. I think that covers Gaster. I think that does. Gaster was a genius, and as you know, those of you that have found the weird limp tree trunk thing by, I think, like I said, it's either the L2 or the R2 elevator, or maybe it's the R3 elevator. I forget. It's one of the three. It's either L2, R2, or R3. It is one of those three elevators. But I believe that one, it said that it took a long time for Asgore to replace Gaster. And then that is where Alphys comes into play, and then I think she found Gaster's old research about human souls, and then she basically picked up she picked up the determination research where Gaster had left off. And then, of course, you know what happens. She gets the monsters that fell. She starts injecting determination into everything, which is where the amalgamates come in. That's how the amalgamates came to, happen. Monsters had fallen down. She was trying to extract the souls, but the monsters didn't turn to dust, so she was like, hey, I'll just, inject determination into them, and they'll die, and then I'll take the souls, get the determination back out, and we'll didn't happen that way. Did not happen that way. She ended up with a bunch of amalgamates, and she hit it, and the guilt gnawed at her, and then you guys saw what happened. You guys know what happened. I'm not gonna go into it, because I said this was only gonna be 30 minutes per, and right now it's like 40 minutes into the video. But now, for my second theory, and I said this one was gonna be a surprise, because this is a dual theory. But again, thank you, Ice Cream Coon, for the request, and I will get to the Spamton and my night theory in separate videos. I don't know which one I'm going to do first. I'll probably do Spamton first, and then I will do the night after, because I got a kicker as to who I think the night is, and I don't think you guys are going to expect it. But for this theory, for the second theory, because I did say that this was a dual theory video, I'm going to focus on a surprise theory, and I will give you guys 5 seconds to guess who it's going to be. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Give up. It's Chara. Yes, I am doing a theory about Chara. Now, I'm hoping this... I don't think this one will screw with me like my other one did. It shouldn't. Ugh, that was horrible. But I was trying to keep from yawning and it didn't work, guys. Sorry. But yes, I am doing the second theory about Chara. Now, aside from the genocide run, you never see Chara. You don't hear anything about her. Nothing. Except when you go back at the very, very, very end of the pacifist run, you go back and you talk to Azrael, who is in the ruins. Where is he in the ruins? Well, I will give you a little tidbit of info. After you spare Toriel, before you leave the ruins, before you head out into Snowden Forest, go back. Go all the way back to where Frisk fell. Toriel is standing there staring at the flowers. Now, as I said in my second Frisk/Chris video, the reason why those flowers exist is because that's Chara's grave. After Asgore started killing human children, Toriel left, but before she left, she went down to the basement, pushed open the determination coffin lid, picked up Chara's body, took her back to the ruins, and buried her where Frisk lands. Yeah, it's pretty screwed up. Which, if you... Again, I'm referencing my second theory video. If you've ever played the Genocide run, when Flowey asks, how did you get back to the ruins from here? And then he gets that little spark of recognition. He's like, oh, I know. She must have taken you with her when she left and given you a proper burial rather than hanging out in the basement forever. That is what he is talking about. Those flowers are Chara's grave, plain and simple. Now, as I said, this theory, the second theory, is all about Little Miss Psycho Chara. Again, aside from, I guess, maybe the wiki, and I have honestly never looked at the wiki on Chara, but if you go back and you talk to Asriel, all the way back to the ruins, in the same place where Toriel is standing, he's watching over his best friend. He's watching over Chara's grave. Asriel says that Chara hated humanity. Flat hated it. But it's never specified why. Guys, I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm tired. It's never specified as to why Chara hated humanity. But when she fell, and this, I'm going to try not to turn this into a dark theory. I'm going to try not to. When she fell, and somehow or another she must have heard the story as to how the monsters ended up trapped underground. In my theory, what I think is she believed that she could use the monsters to get back at humanity for whatever they did to her. I don't know what they did to her. I have no clue. I honestly can't say. I don't know. But when you're playing the pacifist run, and again, I said I wasn't going to reference Undertale, but here we go. This is what we're doing. And like the Froggets and the Whimsons and everything, and they're telling you the story of what happened to Asriel. Basically, more or less, the war was started over a misunderstanding. Because when Asriel went to take Chara's body back to the surface, the humans attacked him, and it even says that the humans believed that Asriel had killed Chara. Chara was already dead. And the reason for this is in the true lab. When you go in the true lab and you listen to the tapes in one of the rooms. I forget which one it is. But you listen to the tapes, and it says that Asriel and Chara were talking about trying to make butterscotch pie for Asgore. And instead of using cups of butter, they used buttercups, and it made him sick. Well, Chara's plan, and this is where this is, and I just said I was going to try not to make this dark, but here we go. Chara saw this as her chance to get back at humanity. So what does she do? She gets Asriel to help her commit suicide by eating buttercups, which I don't know if they're actually lethal. They might be. I don't know if they actually are. But she ate enough of them to where it made her fatally sick. Well, and if you ever, or not if you ever, but after you spare Toriel, if you go back and you go back to sleep in the room that Toriel shows you, it says, like, you can hear Toriel and Asgore telling Frisk that she has to wake up. She is the future of humans and monsters. This goes, and this is just something I just thought of. This goes back to what I said in my second video on my Chris/Frisk theory. That when Frisk landed, she somehow jarred Chara's spirit loose, breaking her bond from her grave, which gave her the ability to attach herself to Frisk. And if you go back and you fall asleep again in the bed, and you hear Toriel and Asgore telling Frisk that she has to wake up because she is the future of humans and monsters, they are talking to Chara. Go try it, I'm telling you. Just go try. Trust me, I'm right. I know I am. I know I am because I've done it before. But now this, I think, is what twisted Chara's soul into the demon that takes over Frisk's body in the genocide run. When Azrael took Chara's body up to the surface after she died, if you go back and talk to Azrael, they ended up splitting the power between Chara and Azrael's bodies, because he says that Chara was the one who picked up her own body. Azrael didn't. Chara did it herself. So she still had some kind of moderate control over the both of them after Azrael absorbed her soul. But like I said, I think what turned her into the malevolent demon that she became was Azrael did not fight. Chara was going to try to use Azrael to destroy humanity, and it backfired on her when she realized that Azrael refused to fight back, even though he'd been attacked, even though he was dying, and he didn't fight. Chara felt betrayed. Even dead, she felt the betrayal in her, and I'm assuming in what little bit of her soul remained. And the hatred that she felt for humanity, she turned it against the monsters. She couldn't get to humanity, she couldn't kill humanity, so she'd kill the next closest thing. She would kill the monsters, but being dead, she could not accomplish it on her own. So there's my Chara theory. And then my Gaster theory. Like I said, shout out to Ice Cream Coon who requested theory. Awesome, Ice Cream Coon, thank you. And if you guys have any more theories that you want me to do, leave them in the comments. And like I said, I will try to remember to enable the comments this time. And if you want to see Mim's reaction to my theory videos, I'll put the link in the description for her channel. Go check her out. She is awesome. She is one of the most genuine people that I've seen on YouTube. She's an awesome YouTuber. Please go check her out. Sub. She is amazing. So those are my theories. And like I said, I will get the other 2 theories out. I'll try to do them as soon as I can. I don't know when, but I will try to get to them soon. And anybody else who has theory they want me to do or reaction, let me know in the comments, and I will do the theory, and you guys will get your shout out. So this is Sayako, and I will see you guys in the next segment. Bye.